Chancellor.
Mr. Speaker, if we see a stronger...
Mr. Robertson, I expect better from our Deputy Chief Whip. Expect better. Order.
Telling off for the Conservative, Andrew Robertson.
If we see a stronger economy and increased tax revenues, we will review whether we need to take these tax-raising measures. But I also believe that it's right, as we all benefit fairly from the exceptional measures we take today, that we should all share fairly in the burden of the future. Taken together, these steps will ensure that there is extra money flowing into the economy now when it's needed most, but we can reduce borrowing as growth returns. And as a result of my decisions today to provide support now and balance the books in the future, I will bring the current budget back into balance by 2015 and 16. Mr. Speaker, fiscal support now, fiscal sustainability both now and in the future. Mr. Speaker, small and medium firms are the engine of our economy. They make up the vast majority of businesses and employ around 60% of the private sector workforce. They are also facing continuing difficulties with cash flow and credit. I know that many profitable businesses are concerned that these twin problems threaten their future, and I want to help them. So our objectives today for businesses are threefold. First, to help equip them for the challenges of the future. Second, to improve access to credit and ease cash flow. And third, to reduce burdens on them at this difficult time. Mr. Speaker, I will maintain a focus on the long-term competitiveness of the UK and to increase our attractiveness as a base for global business. And to do so, I'll introduce an exemption for foreign dividends in 2009 for large and medium businesses and improve our rules for taxing controlled foreign companies. And to build on this, I've also today published an analysis of the long-term global trends impacting on the UK economy and the government's response to them. Mr. Speaker, small businesses need to help to reduce their costs, and I have two announcements to ensure they receive this help. First, to help small firms meet their running costs, I can announce a temporary increase in the threshold for empty property relief. From 2009-10, all empty commercial properties with a rateable value below £15,000 will be exempt from business rates. This exemption covers an estimated 70% of all empty properties. Secondly, at this time of real difficulties for many small businesses, they need time to pay when meeting their tax bills, and I intend to meet this need. From today, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs will enable firms facing difficulties to spread their tax on a timetable they can afford. This will not just cover VAT, as someone suggested, but all business taxes. VAT, corporation tax, income tax and national insurance. And not for 6 months, but for as long as they need. That's real help when businesses need it most. I will also allow several hundred businesses in ports to spread their payment of backdated business bills. Mr. Speaker, we must continue to address the difficulty that many small and medium-sized firms face in getting loans. As part of the recapitalisation scheme, we agreed that banks receiving government funding would maintain the availability of lending to small and medium-sized enterprises at 2007 levels. And I welcome the commitment announced at the weekend by the Royal Bank of Scotland, one of the recapitalised banks, not to increase pricing on SME overdraft prices for at least a year. This will give security and reassurance to up to 1 million small businesses. And this should become the benchmark for all UK banks. Mr. Speaker, we are closely monitoring the commitments given by banks to treat business customers fairly and decently, and I will take whatever action is necessary to make sure this happens. But we're also acting directly to improve access to finance. First, we have agreed a £4 billion deal with the European Investment Bank to provide money to the banks to pass on to small and medium-sized enterprises, and I can report today that 7 UK banks have already asked the EIB for this money, and £1 billion will be available to their customers by the end of this year. Next, I can also announce the government is able to offer credit through a temporary small business finance scheme, and that is worth another £1 billion to small businesses. It should allow small businesses to borrow sums from £1,000 to £1 million at more flexible terms than before, making lending more affordable and easily accessible. This will help SMEs experiencing short-term cash flow problems to get the funding that they need. We are also going to support companies which export through the Export Credit Guarantee Department. From January, it will offer a temporary facility to support the availability of short-term working capital for smaller exporters, and that will mean yet another £1 billion worth of support to help ease the financing constraint faced by firms trading in current difficult circumstances. So that is real support, quickly, for all types of small business. And it's only possible because we have made a deliberate choice to support businesses through this crisis. Mr. Speaker, I have two more measures to announce to help business save tax. First, I've decided to defer the increase in the small companies rate of corporation tax which firms pay on their profits. And that will provide a boost to small companies, leaving their tax rate in 2009 unchanged. Second, I want to support viable small companies who are finding it harder to make a profit at the moment. We already have a system of tax repayments which are available to help those businesses previously profitable but now making losses. Currently, companies are only able to offset losses against profits made in the last year, but it's important to offer more support to businesses at the moment. So I am today extending this repayment scheme so that losses of up to £50,000 can be offset against profits made for the last 3 years. An estimated 75,000 businesses will benefit from this change by receiving tax repayments.